Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. This is another exciting episode that I bring you. Now, today is a special day because I have someone with me in my home studio. This is someone that I've been working with for quite some time. He's a good friend and he's a professional. So I thought, let's come together and have a conversation, get to share some of the experience that he has. He's very, very knowledgeable, and let's have a good time. Nathan, you're welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I've been waiting for this day, and I know that our viewers, our audience is going to really enjoy. They are going to learn a lot from you, and so please tell us about yourself and what you do, and
Okay, hey guys, how are you? Nice to be on this channel. I am Nathan Kyazze, and Benji said I'm a professional, but you don't know what I'm a professional in. I do photography. I've been doing it for 7 years now, and I have a company called Race Makings Limited, and in that we do photography, videography. It's more of an events media production that deals on that, covering from commercial events to corporate events. Commercial being weddings, introductions, birthdays. Corporate being conferences, documentaries, and that kind of work. So that's what I do.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan. And as you've heard, he really does good work. If you haven't, got in touch with him, you can check his socials, and you will see. So I've worked with Nathan we still actually work together, at associate kind of level. And
Yep.
So Nathan, the big topic here today is the photography industry has really grown. We can look at our country and surely say the industry is growing. There's so many people who are getting into photography. Every now and then you're hearing a new name getting into, so and so photography, so and so pictures, and many of us have actually really embraced it. And even our clients, our audience, they've really opened up to, in your own words, what do you think of the photography industry currently?
I would say from the time I started, which is 7 years back, I would say it was a silent kind of business, or a business that no one was doing. It was only I think Oscar and Tege and Jeff that were beginning in the photography business. And I would say they were among the few people that were doing photography back in that time. But looking at it now, it has totally grown, because actually when you just check on Instagram, there are so many studios or photographers that are popping up almost overnight. So the business is definitely growing, and we also have to grow with it. Surely.
And when we see so many photographers joining, it gives you a picture that it seems to be working. It's like people are not. I don't think many photographers are necessarily joining because it's fun, but because of the money side.
Yes.
And whereas there's some photographers who are in it basically as hobby and leisure, others are strictly on business. And I would want us to, dive a little bit into the business side, because many people would want to understand how the photography business works. If someone is wondering how they would join, So for you, what's your take, and is it really worth it joining the industry?
I would like to first say that I think here in Uganda, we don't have, most of the people are actually in it for business. Because if you follow pages of other people, like maybe in the States or somewhere, those are the people that do like maybe nature photography or like something that is, like, of course they do get money out of their nature photography, but it seems more like a hobby. And yes, something that I don't think a Ugandan can go and do, like one nature photography. I don't think. Maybe they are there. Maybe if you are there, you can leave a comment.
Ugandans.
Yeah. So now I have totally forgotten your question. What was the question?
Well, the question is it really worth it? Like, should a photographer, someone out there, think of this as well? I can actually also join, and what would it? What would they need?
Is it worth it to get into the photography business?
Yes.
There's a saying that if one person can do it, then you can do it better. And if no one can do it, then you can still do it. That is an interesting quote.
Surely.
So yes, it is worth it. Even if no one is doing it, if you can do it, then you do it. And if there's someone doing it, you try and do it better. Yeah, so definitely there is, of course you would have to, I think we'll get into it, how to maybe get clients, the equipment that you might need, but it's definitely something that you can do. It's more, I would say it's a hands-on business where you don't have to work in an office, but so long as you get a gadget, you may not even have to own it. You can go and do a side gig and get some side money off of it. So yes, it is worth it to get into the photography business.
So in your perspective, basing on your experience, what has this 7-year journey been like for you in terms of getting into the photography? What was in your mind at that point when you actually decided that I'm going to get into this as a business? Because I know perhaps when you were starting, you had a business kind of mind in line. Was that the case? And what really pushed you?
I didn't actually have a business thought when I was beginning, because actually the reason why I even got into photography was because, and it's a long story, but and I've been a musician before. Maybe not musician, maybe just and I played music, and I'd recorded some music somewhere, and it was supposed to be burnt on a DVD. But the picture that they used on the DVD, I didn't like it. It was a picture of me, but I didn't like it. So, and looking, because when you drive out and you see billboards, they always have amazing photography, like on the billboards. So I was like, I think I'm going to learn this photography. So I got into photography just to make my work better, in sense of making a good album cover. And so it wasn't really for business, but when I was able to get the equipment and people found out that I had a camera, and I'd whenever there would be like events at home, maybe a birthday or like, home events, I'll just take pictures, and if maybe also at church there would be some events, I would go take pictures, and somehow people would want a photography service. Service. So I would end up saying, I can go and do it, and I would do it. But then I was like, okay, seems like I can make money out of this. So I decided to start charging for the photography. So, and I am forgetting your question again, but I hope I've answered it.
Yeah, you're definitely answering, because I was looking at what really inspired you, what pushed you into, and you've clearly mentioned that, you know, someone did a picture and it didn't work for you, so you thought, I can actually do something better.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us definitely have a point that really inspires you. For my case, it's a different story, because I have an art background, and you know, I was in art school, and then I really loved photography. I think it was one of the units that I really wanted to, you know, do, and I somehow knew it would probably take me somewhere. Yeah, so that is for me how the journey started. Yeah, but so many of our Ugandan photographers actually have interesting, just like yours, interesting stories on how they joined. So it gets me to think, it doesn't really have to be that you went to art school, or you know, you read so many books, you know. Yeah, so let's talk more about the business thing. So now you get into the photography, people start to notice that, hey, Nathan is, we see him with a camera. Usually that is how it starts.
Yes.
Okay, so people ask you, can you like take pictures of, so tell us from there, how did things go?
Okay, so I think there's an introduction that I took, like one of the first introductions that I did, and I found that that one was easy to do. I think it's the weddings that I was not so confident in taking. So I would I'd call Jeff Semakula and Oscar Ntege, and I would pass by their studio and just to check out their work, and also inquire, how do you price clients, because they would come and I'm like, how much am I supposed to quote? Yeah, so I would inquire from them, how much do you charge? And then again, by the time I didn't have a portfolio, like I didn't have any photos to show. So I would ask Jeff to send me some of his videos, and I would show them as mine. But thanks for that, Jeff.
So many of us are a culprit of that, by the way. And I'm thinking, so many guys are out there thinking, oh, that is definitely the trick.
Anyway, yeah, because that time I didn't have, like, I wasn't setting aside the things that I was doing. I'll just take pictures and maybe just keep, or even just keep on my laptop or something like that. But like when you want to impress someone, you can be like, man, does the work that is on my laptop, will it impress someone? So you're also thinking at the back of your head, maybe it's not at the same quality as the standard. Yeah, but so yeah, Jeff helped me with an album to show to a client, because at that time I'd never set up an album. I'll just take pictures and just give them like a soft copy on a DVD or CD. So, but now they needed an album, but I had never set an album before, so I didn't have any album to show them. Unless I would show them my family album, but that wasn't even an album I had taken pictures of. So yeah, I would use that, and then they're like, okay, yeah, you can come and take pictures. And then I'd also gotten the pricing kind of figured out from Jeff, and I'd lowered it a bit, because I thought I was cheating them.
Yes.
Yeah, so from there, I would cover the event. Though for the wedding part, I actually called Jeff to come and take the pictures. You know what? For what's it called? The
gardens.
Yeah, for the gardens. For gardens, I was not confident at all. I was not confident at all. But after that, when we came back, like he took the gardens pictures. Though, like you take for the bagole, I'll take for the the entourage, and sometimes when you take the entourage, I'll take the what? The bagole. So, but getting back on the computer, I realized that I could take pictures because I was just not confident. But I think from that time of experience of taking pictures at birthdays, at any other small event that would come, I'd already at least mastered what a good picture should look like. So I didn't do bad actually. It was actually very good. So, but I think what I realized as a business, like photography is more of a people business. If you're not good at interacting with people, you're going to fail because you're going to require a smile from your clients.
Yes.
And if you're not a person who communicates, you're not going to get a smile. Of course, there's photography where you don't need a smile, but it is still it brings a connection between you and your clients. So yeah, the photography business is a person business.
If you can't work with people, you go and shoot wildlife. You go and shoot nature. Things like that which have no human beings. But as long as you're shooting conferences, fashion, things that have to do with people, you need to work on your people skills. And actually that gets me now to ask you, so how do you grow your confidence? How did you, because you've mentioned you would call Jeff to help you to shoot because you were not confident enough. How did you manage to grow your confidence, grow your skills with people?
Okay, for the confidence part, like I'd said that when I got back to looking at the photos on the computer, I realized that there was not much difference. I think the major difference would come in editing. So, but as for taking pictures, that one I could do. So it is now the editing that actually I would say maybe sets us apart, or it's the amount of time that you put into editing. And actually editing takes a lot of time if you really want to have a good image, brushing the skin and all that, whitening teeth. So for the confidence part, just knowing that I could take well-exposed pictures and in frame, that was enough for me. And also the fact that I was already doing it prior, before those maybe major events. So yes, so I would say confidence comes from experience. And you're not going to get experience if you're just sitting down. You have to keep working, keep taking photos. And also, and I do teach people photography. But one thing that I realized that can help is selecting photos. Like after you go for an event and you take over like 2,000 photos, it is coming back to office and selecting out those 2,000 photos and getting out 100 photos. See, when you go through that process of getting the perfect photos, in your mind it will tell you what a good photo should look like. And when you have that in your mind, you have to you apply it on the field. So when you're in the field, you already know what a good photo looks like. You make sure that you get that perfect photo right on the field. That will also help with your confidence. Yeah, then
and I totally agree, because it makes a lot of sense, because I think many photographers, as they start, of course, since we are in the digital era, we try to take as many photos as possible in the search for the perfect photo. But you make a very good point that as you look through these photos you've taken, it starts to inform your mind, to what a perfect photo. Well, it may not be perfect necessarily, good photo, but something that you can work with. Because it happens a lot when maybe you send someone to go and take photos, and you're looking through the photos and you're like, there's no photos. And maybe when they are looking at you saying that, they're like, but how about these these ones?
Yeah, actually, because going through the photos and narrowing down, okay, that helps. However, I would now say, who is judging that it is a good photo? You get it? Because now someone else may look at the photo you've selected and they're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
So I think now that falls back to the principles of photography.
Yes.
I think like the rule of thirds.
Yes.
The leading lines. I think those are something those are some of the things that you also have to read up on and know that, okay, I think I can use some rule of thirds here. Because now someone else may look at the rule of third and be like, look at all this space. But I think you cannot please everyone. You cannot please everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, I think, stick to what is standard to a good photo. And for those that do not make it in the good photos, you can leave it. They won't make it into the photo book all album. They'll have those in their selection of raw photos. Maybe if that's what they want, then that's what they want.
Surely. I like you make a good point, and so I think it informs even the young photographers out there, not necessarily in age, but we mean in experience. You need to equip yourself with what we would term as a standard, generally acceptable, kind of, because as a photographer, if you call yourself a photographer, there are certain standards that are expected of you, right?
Yes.
You're expected to know how to expose. For example, we don't expect that you will have overexposed photos or way underexposed photos and you think, hey, these are good photos. So those are like a bare minimum. And perhaps the other bit can be the creative side, because that is what differentiates us. And maybe just for you to share a little bit, what would you consider your style to be? For me, I would understand we photographers are like musicians. Or you've been in a situation where this client tells you, you know, I want you to take pictures like this. And they are showing you photos of another photographer.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, me, I don't do that style. What's your take on that, by the way?
I would say, okay, is that saying that the client is always right?
Yeah, they say that.
However, so you see, like you may take a photo and you go to that Instagram that they have said that I want pictures like this, and you do that same color grade, and they are like, they are not the ones, and you've done the same color grade, and they will still say they are not the ones. So of course, like the environment that they are in is not going to be the same as whichever photo that they've seen. You may do the same color grading, but that person will not even know that it's the same. It is the same, you've done it, it's the same, but they will still not say that, they will not appreciate it. So, yeah, clients are always right, but I don't even know.
For me, what I pick from it, and maybe just my personal thinking is, and maybe this will go out to you, our clients, that if you like a certain style, if you see, for example, a photographer, you've seen their work on Instagram and you like it, and then you give another photographer a call and you're asking for a certain style, I think it's a bit unfair. You should rather go for the style that works for you. If there's a certain kind of look that you want, find a photographer who has that kind of look, but not another photographer you're trying to make them create magic.
Yeah, however, although that is right, but like I've said, even if you deliver the same color grade that the other person has, they will say it's not the same. You get it? Because it's not the other person that has done it.
And
So
it
it is-
can't surely be the same.
So it is just best that if you are looking for like maybe a very specific kind of work, maybe you can go to them. Maybe because it is until it is probably on that person's page that you'll be like, oh, now it is the same color grade. You get it? Yeah.
Yeah, and also turning to our fellow photographers who, let's talk about still style. There are those who are all over the place. You do call this style, you try call this. What's your take on that? Should someone maybe stick to one thing and they are known for that, or you know?
I would say it's best to stick to one. However, it doesn't have to know the knowledge of the other. But I would say it's good to stick to one.
So when someone is still trying to find themselves, when they are getting into it, it's okay for them to try different options and see where maybe they will finally settle.
Yeah. However, like when you start uploading pictures, you start to see that the pictures are not coordinated. So I think sticking to one style would be better. And I think sticking to like just a simple color correction, just like probably natural skin, leaving it as simple as possible would be the best. Yeah, because sometimes you can color grade and you go so off. And I'd also say if you are to edit, like especially on the phone or even on the computer, try to avoid the eye care. You know that shade of color that is placed on top of that on the LCD. That filter for eye care. It can confuse you. Like if it's an orange filter and you are editing, you're going to want to reduce the yellow. And when you reduce the yellow, if you send it to someone else, then that photo will be too blue. Because on your screen it will still have the standard yellow, but because of the screen filter. And then when you transfer it to someone else who doesn't have a screen filter, and most people don't have the screen filters, then it will be too what? Too blue. So when editing, I would suggest to stay away from those eye cares. You switch them off and edit.
So ideally, some people may not have picked that. So when you use whichever monitor you're using, computer monitor, it should be at its probably normal, standard kind of. Don't add so contrast in your monitor or things like that, because it's going to compromise the final look of your image. For you, it might look okay, and by the way, what you're saying is true. Sometimes when you edit a photo, you look at it on your phone, it looks different than on someone else's phone. So it's better you have at least a good monitor that can that will give you something standard for accuracy. I would like to know about this bit of how to get clients. So many photographers are out there and they are wondering, how do we get clients? You know, it's so hard to get clients. What advice do you give to?
It is so hard to get clients because you are not out there. But first of all, if you are beginning out, even if you are a big fish, you still need to advertise yourself. And advertising yourself may not I'm not meaning in sense of money, but in sense of presence. So like people just have to keep seeing you doing the photography. And once you're always in their faces, they will always know that, hey, this one always does photography. Because if you miss out on like maybe uploading and yet someone else is uploading, taking pictures, they'll definitely get the client, because whenever they want an event covered, they'll think of the last person that comes to their mind. And if it is not you, you will not get that client. So being in people's faces, that means uploading on statuses. Because nowadays it's really more on who uploads the most in this day and age. So you upload on status, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. but as well as because before it was a word of mouth. Like once you've covered someone else's event, they will give you a call because they remember you. Yeah. So, but it's mainly just to always be out there, let people know that you're taking photos, that you're a photographer. Yeah. Yeah,
and I totally agree. I think in our day and age, there's so many smartphone users. So social media presence, that one is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself out there, and probably also the quality of work you upload. Because you see, when you're going to put yourself out there, you want to give your best. Even if you're still struggling with your craft, you need to at least find the nice pictures and post, because that is basically what is marketing you out there.
Yeah, but something else I've noticed is that even if for you you're not posting, like there may be someone else who's posting like average pictures, just like basic pictures, and your photography may be better than theirs, but because they're uploading, they will get a client because they know that they take photos, and for you, fine, you may be good at you may have better photography, but because you did not upload, you are out of the minds of someone who could have come and used your service.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the take home is post. Yeah. Let people know what you do. I think that is like the first step to marketing.
Yes.
What you do.
Yeah, and I think also for me, I tend to be over specific. Like I can edit a photo for so long and end up postponing uploading it. So I think if you do not upload a photo, then you upload a video of just you taking the picture until you're confident that you have now made the right edit. At least just showing yourself holding the camera and there are people in front of you, just a small clip, like maybe 5-10 seconds. That's enough to at least keep people engaged. Or maybe a video clip of yourself sitting at your laptop editing. That is also something that can at least keep people engaged that you're still in the photography business.
You're still in the business.
Yeah, so if you've not uploaded a photo, at least people are like, yeah, he's doing some work.
By the way, when you talk about like posting, I feel like there are those seasons where posting is also another job in itself.
Oh,
there are those seasons when you feel like you even have photos in your phone, but you're so lazy.
Yes. I still have.
You're lazy
so
to post.
Many events I haven't posted.
It happens a lot, by the way. But I know that for photographers who are just starting, it's probably a different story, because maybe at this point for us, we have a lot and we are spoiled for choice. But there's this photographer who is just getting into it, and they are looking for clients. Okay, maybe for me, one thing I remember is you have to do free photo shoots.
Yes.
Because you need a portfolio. If like you mentioned earlier that someone contacted you and they wanted you to give them a service, but they wanted to see, to get an idea of what your things look like. And trust me, even up to this point, new clients want to see. If they haven't seen already, they want to see. Can you send me a demo reel? Can you send me a link so I can see your photos? So it means a portfolio is key.
Yes.
And if you don't have one, do free photo shoots. If you have the gear, do free photo shoots, at least as you also improve your confidence. Because I remember there's a cousin of mine during the lockdown, because I started seriously during that lockdown period. So I met with her and we did a photo shoot. I told her, today is your lucky day. free photo shoot. And she was happy. But you know, the idea was I was growing my confidence with her. And you know, I also practiced with a camera, practice editing with someone who wasn't going to criticize me or, you know, sue me or anything like that.
No, I think also because if you are maybe to talk about free photo shoot, that means you still, because there are some that don't have the gadgets and maybe don't have the money to rent the gadgets. I think for that I would say volunteer to carry the equipment for the photographers. Whenever they go on a gig, you volunteer to help out in the photography. So you may not be the one taking the picture, but you ask them once in a while let me take some pictures. Of course, I would assume that you already know some basics, and that person knows that you know some basics, and just you holding the camera, you get a friend to record you taking pictures. That is enough to tell you that, hey, this guy knows something. And the more you keep doing it, the more people are like, hey, this guy, does he have a company or what? Because the more people see you engaging, even if it's not your equipment, it's even not your event, you're just there carrying tripods and whatnot. Because I have some interns of mine, like they always record themselves like that, and they get gigs. Yeah, so if you don't have the money, you just find a photographer and be like, I want to learn. Is it possible to take me to your events and I help out? And just like that, maybe hold a camera or just stand behind a tripod and look serious. Yeah, you'll definitely get a call eventually that come and cover for us a gig.
I totally agree. I think for someone who really wants to get into the photography space, the most important thing is going to be you gaining the skill. Because many of us, you start when you have no gear, but you need a space that will help you grow. So do not feel shy about, you know, going and volunteering. That's a very good point. You find someone who does the photography professionally, you know, ask them questions, ask them if you can help them carry the lights, carry the equipment, you know. You start out like that. Many of us actually started out like that. So you shouldn't feel any shy about it. So now there's this point where, okay, someone has now got into the, you know, the photography. They've started getting some clients, you know. Things are starting to shift. How do they manage to sustain their business? Talk about how, you know, to maintain the clients, and perhaps we'll talk also about how to price.
Okay, how to maintain clients.
Because a client can come, they come to you, they are happy, they saw you, you seem like you know what you're doing, and the next thing, you don't hear from them again, or they go away grumbling for some reason. So what are those things to look out for?
Okay, of course, when they come to you and you've delivered the work, that's already a plus. At least now they have you in mind, and they have your contact because you've been working together. But like I've said, if someone else is marketing or showing videos and they see their work, they are going to go to them. And if you have been quiet for a long time, they are going to They're going to move on to another person. Unless I think it also depends on how well you've interacted with the person. And because now for me, I would say, like, at least the people that I cover, I would say that they enjoy my experience. So I think you should ensure that like I said, it's a people service. Whereby how you interact with a person will determine whether they will call you back. So if you just point and shoot the camera and have a gloomy face, I don't think they will like that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the point you're making, because I think there's many photographers who think it's only their skill or basically their photos. Tianze nkube ekifaananyi daba gwe ekifaananyi nga all they care about is how nice their photos are, but their people's skills are so bad. They don't communicate well. You know.
No, because actually someone who has better people skills and bad photos, okay, they won't be bad, but they will just be normal.
Yes,
that one will definitely get a call from what? From people because of how they've interacted.
People want, by the way, that is very true. People want a good experience, especially things like weddings and where you're going to spend the whole day with a person.
Yeah.
People want someone they can laugh with. Even if you're a photographer, you're not a machine. You are a person. So people are going to definitely enjoy that experience you give is equally important.
Yeah.
Right. The other bit, when we talk about clients, there's a how can I call it? When we begin to get clients, pricing becomes a key factor. Sometimes a high price is going to chase away clients.
Yes.
Other times also a low price can chase away clients. What is the sweet spot for pricing in regards to a young photographer, someone who's really getting into, because it's a different story for professionals who are experienced.
Yeah.
But how should I price as a young photographer?
Okay, and a young photographer shouldn't be looking to price ridiculously high, because no one knows them unless you are connected by like over high family, you are in the ranks of what they lead you into government and all that. Yeah, but if you are just starting out, I think the best way to price is by knowing how much each equipment is going to cost. So you list out the gadgets that you're going to use, the camera that you're going to use, the strobe, how much is it going to cost, the tripods, how much would it all cost if you rented it. And then from that you throw in a margin of how much you expect to make. Yeah, so that is how to price. Make sure that the camera is sorted, tripods, strobe, speed light, and all that. Make sure that they're sorted, because there's somewhere that I'd gone to shoot. Okay, a friend of mine had told me to go and shoot there. It was a school event. I think the kids had gone to the zoo, so they'd gone using the bus to the zoo, and so at the end of the event, or at the end of the zoo tour, because I wasn't even the one that discussed the money. So, but he told me, you go and then you will discuss from there. So after, because I thought I thought that he had told her how much, the range. So I talked to her, but even the price she's telling me that she wants to pay does not even cover the equipment. So, and I asked her, didn't you rent these buses? Are you just going to pay the driver and not pay for renting the bus? You get it? Because you cannot pay to have the kids go for a trip and the bus driver just comes by himself. You have to pay for the what? For the bus that they are going to use.
Yes.
Likewise, you have to pay for what? For the equipment. So you have to sort out, in your pricing, you have to sort out the what? The equipment. And after the equipment is sorted, then you can put your margin. Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that, and I think this is also important for our clients to know. I've actually encountered situations where these clients have also a mind of but it is your camera.
Yes.
And then let me give an example. A photo shoot.
Yes.
You're charging someone, let's say 300,000.
Yes.
For a birthday photo shoot.
Yeah.
And they're like, all that. They're like, but you have a camera.
Yes.
Why are you? So because of the 300, you've taken off the camera money, the transport,
Yes.
and also your profit.
Yes.
Because you're going to shoot them, then you go back and edit.
Yes.
And then someone wants to give you 100,000, which
it doesn't cater. Okay, may cater for maybe
for one thing.
Yeah.
But it means the rest you're working for free. So I think we also have that kind of challenge with our clients. But also maybe, okay, let's help the young photographer who's starting. Because also we need to understand our market here in Uganda. If you're starting, to be honest, clients are not going to be willing to part with a certain amount. They will say this one is just starting, I can't give him this money. Until maybe when you've grown your brand and things like that. So if this young photographer is starting out, what sacrifices do they need to make, at least to let people know that, hey, I do photography? Otherwise they won't, if they are going to price, for example, like how you've stipulated, they may end up not doing any gig.
No, but you see, you can actually do any gig. It is now, you have to be strategic in how you price. Yeah, fine, if you're going to rent a camera of 100,000 and let me say the client is only willing to pay you 150. Well, of course, we've said that you can start up with doing free photography. However, there should be a point in time when you're like, okay, can I have free photography? This free photography is going to end here. And you at least start making a profit.
Yes.
So, but I think it will still, because there are cameras that go for 100.
Yes.
And cameras that go for 50. So, in order for you to make some money, you can get the camera that makes that is for 50. Because ideally, if you had actually priced it according to how much they are going to give you, you are giving them what they are paid for. You get it? However, it doesn't mean that you give them what? Bad quality. Of course, with that equipment that you can rent from that money, you have to know, you have to be able to use it. So that falls back in experience. Because you and I, we can use a camera that is 50, that goes for 50,000, and we get what?
Good pictures.
Yeah, good pictures. So likewise, for someone who is trying to make money and they're a beginner and they're tired of doing free gigs and they're giving you little money, you can start off by at least first increasing your knowledge on using equipment that may not be as easy to use, like the
lower grade kind of
cameras. Plus, if they're giving you like 150, of course you will not even be able to rent a strobe.
Yes.
So, but you definitely need a speed light. So, but the speed light I would suggest is a speed light that has a rechargeable battery. Not the double A batteries. Those ones also tend to run out quick. So at least with that, a camera and a speed light, if it all goes well, you can get it at 100, and at least you remain with like a 50. Of course, if you put in transport, you may end up with maybe like a 20k, but it's still saving rather than but yeah, so it still falls back on, can you compromise? Because you can, if you put in the time to learn the equipment, then you can actually profit, even if they've given you little money. You rent whichever gadget that you can rent, and you do the job. I totally agree, because this pricing thing is that serious. It will frustrate you in the business, because you see, if you've decided to come into photography as a business, then of course there are risks you're going to have to take, and there are sacrifices you're going to make. Sacrifices, especially when you're starting, you can't charge high. That is just reality. Maybe there's this bit of acquiring a camera, because I think many people who are starting don't have capital. The only capital they have is the skill.
normally photographers will be able to get a camera much later in their career, because the cameras we use are expensive. A basic camera that is reasonable will start at maybe like 2 million or 2.5 onwards. And if you become more professional with what you're doing, you need even a more serious camera. And of course,
and not just a camera, also the other gadgets that come with it.
Because a camera has other things that have to supplement it. When you see those beautiful pictures, people have used like 3 lights, they have triggers, they have soft boxes and all those things. And renting them to get a whole set, you might end up like spending 300,000 just on gear. And I think maybe for our clients also, you need to know that this is not a cheap kind of, because some of them, I think, be sitting there and thinking, me I have my boy, he will he will take the pictures, or we have so and so. Because I think photography has really advanced from the other old style, the film days of where
but I think even in the film days, like for that time and period, it was also for like a set period, for like even the equipment also had a price that they had to rent their stuff for.
I agree. I think maybe because some people just look in the olden day and they think those are the prices, but yet so many things have really improved. There are so many, but also we must appreciate our clients who are moving with us, who understand the trend, who understand. Do you know there are those situations where a client calls you and they're asking you, so do you have this? Do you have that big umbrella? Do you have, they are also knowledgeable. They are starting to know that when I don't see the other light, this guy is not serious.
No, but however, you see, some made ask you all that, and yet the budget they give you, like, I have to cancel out this strobe, I have to remove this strobe.
I know.
And then you have to compromise.
They like those who are exposed, they can want all those big things, the lights, everything.
But you see, lenses, you may have all those big things and not even be able to use them. You get it? Because someone who is skilled in their craft, they may not need all that. Of course, all that helps in reducing maybe the few seconds that you might have done to change settings. But however, someone who is skilled can use the limited resources to get good results.
So that is what makes a difference between a professional and an amateur or a beginner.
Yes.
Because a professional knows what they are doing, and they can use whatever they have to, and that is very important. So you guys, you're hearing this, it's very important because these are some of the gray areas, I think, for many young photographers. They are wondering, how should I price? Because there are those who are privileged that maybe someone has invested in them. They own a camera, so they've started somewhere. So maybe they can afford to charge a certain price. Maybe I'll shoot you at 50K or 100K because
they have the equipment.
And I think that's where most of our clients base. They're like, but that is your camera. So in a situation, even if I own the camera, I should charge the camera because there's depreciation. I should charge transport and labor. Labor includes me shooting you and editing, right? So equipment has to be paid for, and other whatever, the labor and transport, those have to be embedded in the bill.
I would say also in labor you should include time. Because sometimes if you don't include time, the client can take you for like a full day, yet what they are paying is really for like a 2-hour service.
Thank you for mentioning that. That is very true. Time, in fact, there are those days when there are those times when I'm communicating with a client who wants to understand why the price is that way. Because truth is, also our clients are innocent. There are those who want to have a photography experience. Someone is having their first photo shoot, like serious photo shoot for the first time, and they are wondering, okay, so that price, so what are you giving me with that price? And you have to explain that, you see, I'm going to be with you for this amount of time. This is what you're going to get, and that's it. Now, there are those who would understand. There are those who are wondering why it's a lot. So those are the kind of challenges that we... Well, as we get to the conclusion, so at what point... assuming now the young photographers started getting clients and what, you know, we also work in Uganda here, where, you know, at some point you need to get legit, to become legitimate. You know, I was saying that many photographers here in Uganda start out as freelancers. If someone has their camera, they will go and shoot a gig for someone, for a company. They sort of work under other people's companies. So, but then there's that point where someone will say, okay, I'm spreading my wings. At what point does someone need to become legitimate? Like, to register their company? What are the benefits? What should they know? Yeah.
Okay. I think before, because, okay, if you're not a registered company, like, you may not have the opportunity to bid or to get jobs from companies, because most companies normally accept business from other businesses or registered businesses. And I would say sometimes if you get business from the right company, they pay a good amount of money. But of course it will also depend. It depends on the company, really, because some companies, they are also like as if individuals. You know, even if you've had you know that they have a good presence, but after you've sent your quote, they're like, it is too high, which is, and you're like, it seems like an individual is the one going to pay. So yeah, but there's definitely some good money, but it depends on which company that you're going to work for. Yeah, but also registering it can also mean that you have to pay taxes, which and all that. What is it called?
Filing returns. Okay,
the filing returns is mainly for company base. Maybe if I'm wrong, someone will comment. But for me, that's what I know.
Yeah.
However, still some companies do actually hire individuals. I think so long as you have become noticeable, they can what? They can give you a call and get your service. Or if you are even friends with a person in a specific company, you ask them if they have any photography gigs, and they can throw in your name, and you get a gig. Some companies don't only hire fellow companies and business registered companies.
They get freelancers.
Yeah, they can get freelancers.
Yeah. I think when you mention the issue of bidding and, you know, the amount of money, it's true that usually those kind of jobs that come after bidding and, you know, you quote and things like that, the pay point is higher than an average job you're going to get by word of mouth. So I think if you've built capacity, because I feel like also you need to build capacity so that you're in position to actually do a job. Imagine if, let's say, a certain bank wants to do photography for their employees, their staff. They need to know that you have the capacity to do the job. So I think that is another point you should be able to have built a certain, maybe not too high, but so that you're able to, to satisfy the clients. And probably other jobs can come through in that manner.
Okay. But still, even as an individual, you can still you get the clients, and most times, they might want to know if you're capable. But I think most times they can know that through your
Your portfolio.
Yeah, through your portfolio or the posts that you make. Like even just being behind the camera and someone records you moving the camera, that is to someone that has at least seen your status, they can be like, oh, this guy has equipment. Of course, it may not be yours, but you rented it out. Because you can do any gig so long as you have the money to pay for the equipment. So you just have to quote for the equipment, and then you can cover any gig.
You can cover the job.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are getting to the end of this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And before we conclude, please consider subscribing. If you are new to the channel, it would really mean a lot. Leave a comment, ask a question. We will definitely be having more and more of these kind of interactions to answer your questions, to give you feedback and share this kind of experience. So as we conclude, Nathan, I want us to put our voice there to a young photographer. And but when we say young, we don't necessarily mean age, but your experience, you've just gotten into this business. What are your final words to someone who wants to get in, or someone who has already gotten in, but they are having struggles here and there? How can they thrive in this business?
I think the motto that you should take is if someone can do it, you can do it better. If no one can do it, still you can do it. I think that's a good motto.
Wow.
So you've just begun in the photography, or you want to start your journey in photography. That is good. You just have to build up your skill in photography. Watch a lot of tutorials, get mentors, and do some free service. Experience is what you need, and you cannot get it if you just sit around and do nothing. And put yourself out there. Whatever you take pictures of, upload it. Or if you are shy and don't want to upload it right away, and you're still editing, or at least upload a video of yourself just shooting. That will at least keep you in the presence of other people when it comes to photography. So you can do it. Just go for it.
Wow, banange mubiwulidde ebigambo. I wouldn't say much, but thank you so much, Nathan, for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you, and I know very soon you will be back, because these guys are going to ask questions. And we'll definitely be back maybe in another episode to respond to some of these questions, because this topic is really big. The photography business is really big, and we have different stages to it. There are those who are just entering, there are those who are in there, who are struggling, and we talk about all things. And we are, by the way, based here in Uganda. Just for you to know, you might think, we are based in Uganda, and the perspectives that we share are based on the Ugandan market. But this also relates with other friends of ours in other African countries, and probably elsewhere in the world. But this is very key information, and we want to thank you for supporting the channel. So yeah, I think we are going to end here for today. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay humble, keep humble, and create.
Yep, thank you for having me here, Benjamin. And guys, please subscribe, and we'll see you later.